So I'm a fan of books that have to do with something around like the element of water, whether it's horror that has to do with water, horror by the sea, horror by the river, weird creatures that come from the water, whatever. I've just always liked that and have been drawn to it. So today we're going to talk about a book called River Woman, River Demon by Jennifer Givhan. This book comes highly recommended by Mother Horror, and I feel like recently I've been reading so many books that she's recommended, but you know, when I grow up, I hope to be as cool as Mother Horror. And you might be like, Sin, you are a grown up. I don't know. The jury's still out on that one, maybe? Yeah, I guess I'm an adult. Just fighting it, you know? Anyway, this book, it's a wild ride, and it definitely has the element of water in it. It follows the story of this woman, Ava, and she's married to this guy, Jericho, and they're both kind of witchy. Her mom was a curandera, who was also a bruja, and practiced the magical arts. She's kind of glommed onto this all throughout her life. Her mom passed away in childbirth, so her older sister, Alba, raised her from when she was a kid, and her sister didn't really believe in all that witchy stuff and whatnot, but she was always her rock and took care of her. Later in life, you know, she gets married. She's married to this guy Jericho. They have two lovely children, Javier and Zemina. The story goes as follows. Ava has been having like weird blackouts, and she's being haunted again by something that happened in her past. When she was really young, I think she was around 15, maybe was the age, her best friend in the world, Karma, drowned. At that time, people blamed her and said she killed her best friend, and so that's always kind of followed her around, and none of that was ever proven, and she doesn't remember though. So she wonders, could I have possibly killed the person I loved the most when I was at that age? And she has a really hard time with that and still grapples with it all these years later. And so one night, she's asleep on the couch and she hears screaming down by the river. And there's a river behind the house. And when she gets down there, she finds her husband and this woman who is dead in his arms, bleeding, Cecilia. She's like, what the F? She doesn't know why Cecilia was in the river. And Cecilia worked with Jericho at his shop, Rag and Bone, which is kind of like an apothecary that has magical items, all different sorts of stuff that you would find in the shop of the occult and magic and things of that sort. Stuff starts to get weird after this. They call the cops come, and then immediately they blame the husband, Jericho, saying that he murdered her. They find the woman who died, Cecilia's blood is like on his car and whatnot, but Ava like picked up and touched everything and like had blood on her hands too, so she like got stuff all around, and like I guess they find all these naked pictures, and then she's like, they're saying the husband was having an affair with her and all this stuff, so he gets taken away and thrown in jail. So then it's a matter of figuring out, did he actually do this? Or was it Ava? You know, because then they're like starting to think, well, she had this weird death of her friend when she was 15, and it's really suspicious that her friend drowned, and then this woman turns up and is drowned and had trauma to the head. Like, she obviously it wasn't just a drowning, like they were attacked beforehand and then drowned. So now it's like, is the husband protecting her, or did he actually do it? Did he really have an affair? It's freaking crazy. So all her childhood ghosts come back to haunt her, and then she starts being haunted by both these women, by both Karma, the girl that died when she was younger, and then she starts seeing Cecilia too. It's crazy, and it's great. It kept me up super late at night. I really like the characters. I like the weirdness. I like the witchiness and the witchcraft and all the stuff that went along with it, and the having your demons come back up from your past and trying to figure out what's going on and overcoming them, and like who is actually responsible, who killed this woman in the river, and then did Ava actually drown her friend, or was it someone else? Like, what happened? The story, some of it was a little bit of a slow burn, but overall it held my interest. I really liked the writing. It's super atmospheric. I loved that about it. It's very eloquent, it's very atmospheric, it's very descriptive, and it just, you really see it when you read it. Like, you feel it. It's very tangible, and I like that when I get a book like that. Is it horror? or more thriller. Maybe it's more thriller than horror, because it had some horror aspects to it, but it wasn't overly like graphic or anything. I haven't looked up to see what it says online, but either way, really enjoyed it. If you like books where you're trying to figure out like who done it, that are all messed up, that have like occult and witchcraft and stuff kind of throughout the story, then River Woman, River Demon by Jennifer Givhan might just be for you. And if you like weird, witchy, occulty type books, the next video coming up will be about that. So stick around, check it out. And if you had fun hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.